one I have from Bonti Benjamin. Achime Buakwa says the president said the details of hospital projects, and we don't have to say, will be made transparent and open to public scrutiny and action. And he continued, the doomsayers who predicted free SHS education is not possible, now crying foul that it's not in the budget. Meanwhile, government's relief for Ghanaians on electricity and water, etc. in this era was also not captured in the 2020 budget. So let's support President Akufo-Addo to succeed. I'm talking about all the related things that we need to take a look at. You do know that we talked to the Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram, Sam George, early on. And Martin Pebu is joining us on the same issue as to whether the Electoral Commission may have flouted any of that injunction directive or not. And so, Mr. Pebu, straight away I put it to you. Looking at what you observed has been reported over the weekend, what's your own legal opinion on the subject?
Okay, Mama V, matters like this, in contempt action, the first will be looking out for is that when the 1%, the EC, that the EC was fair with the court order. That's very, very fundamental because in contempt there are different sides. Not to send this to the lecture, but this side that we are basing on a court order, an express court order. Then the beginning is that you must find that the order was served on the EC. Okay. And the order is.
Oh, Mr. Kpobu, we seem to having some difficulty with your line because it's a mobile one. Can you just reposition yourself so that there's clarity in audio? Mr. Kpobu? We seem to have lost Mr. Kpobu. We'll try and get him on stream. We will again visit the subjects, and there are a number of things that have been mentioned so far, and we'll take a look at them. Mr. Kpobu, are you back on the line? Okay, but look, we'll move on and talk about our next conversation. We'll be having here Mr. Senyo Hosi. He's a CEO for the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors, but also a businessman or an entrepreneur. and then also Mr. Evans Sari will be joining us. He's a senior manager for KPMG. We'll look at the implications of coronavirus on small, mid-sized businesses, post-coronavirus, what actions need to be taken, and looking at what the perspectives are from the Bretton Woods institutions, independent analysts, what could be available for them, and how they need to move on with life. Well, we'll be looking at all that next, but I'm told Mr. Martin Kpobu is back on the line. Mr. Martin Kpobu, are you back on the line?
Yes.
Okay. So you were saying, please continue for me.
So I've mentioned the first one, saying that the fundamental, our preliminary point is that we have to be informed that he was served with the order not to hold a meeting. That one, I don't know where they stand on it, because I don't see that in the media. But the other point then is that in the court order, it was stated that the meeting should not take place. That's the City Escape Hotel, Pram. What we find is that the meeting allegedly took place in airport behind the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Now, I've heard commentators, some say that the order was specific, that the meeting should not take place in Pram. As such, if the meeting is brought to Accra, it is not a violation of the court order. Well, because it's law, you can have different lawyers having different opinions. But for me, I don't subscribe to that opinion that the meeting was restricted to Pram. No. You can see from the context that it is the meeting that the court sought to injunct. The court made a prohibition order that the meeting should not take place, because reading the court papers, you could see that because of the CI 65 and others, where the president has stated that there should be no gathering of more than 25 people. Even the 25 persons, that one is for funeral. Okay? Yes, so because there is a law saying that not more than 25 people should gather, and that's even exceptional circumstances. The court order was meant at preventing a meeting of about 40 persons. I think from the papers, the EC officers were 40 or so, right? Yes, so you see that in substance, it's a gathering of about 40 persons that the court order sought to prohibit. So whether you book a meeting in Pram, in Boko, in Agdim, wherever, it would still be a violation of the court order.
What remedies are there for Mr. Sam George?
Oh, obviously, we were discussing this in the context of contempt of court. So it's for him to decide whether he wants to mount an action for contempt of court against the EC, or that he would let it pass.
Well, thank you very much. Mr. Martin Kpebo is a legal practitioner and helping us with the discussion. Straight away, we will look at that next conversation. Mr. Senyo Hosi is CEO, Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors, also an entrepreneur. We're looking at the impact of coronavirus on small and mid-sized businesses, and especially the young demographics in the population that are venturing into entrepreneurship, what is available for them by way of innovation, growth, education, and credits as it is, and post-coronavirus, what should we be looking at? He will be joined by Mr. Evans Asari. He is a senior manager for KPMG, and I tell you all the analysis right here. Do stay with us.